it's not nothing, right? I mean, there's definitely rotation up there, and it's incredible that we're able to scope that out at 1,500 feet.
Do me a favor. I want to see if this has any chance of impacting Flagler County. Let's zoom in out just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why we're going to have to watch that. And that's why I bring that up for our friends there in Flagler County, that, you know, if we continue to see that, we'll have to wait and see what they do. Now, the National Weather Service here in Melbourne will produce warnings for Volusia County, but then you get up to Flagler County, that's Jacksonville's jurisdiction. So sometimes different Weather Service offices have different approaches and mentalities to different storm events. But there it is, little couplet right there, trying to make a comeback there, just to the northeast of Forest Lake Park, and moving off to the northeast to me, Eric.
Yeah, so up next is going to be, of course, Pipeline Road and then State Road 40. There's a lot of rural people, rural homes and communities that live up there. Rural people, good gravy. There's a lot of rural communities up there in the Ocala National Forest, and we're grateful to be able to see this the way that we do. So take your tornado precautions if you live there along Pipeline Road and State Highway 40. This will continue to lift up to the north, crossing over, and eventually will make it up toward the extreme northern tier there of Volusia County, crossing very near Pearson.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
And then working out through to Flagler if it lasts that long. And the good news is these are moving awful quick, but you know, we are going to be watching as they move to determine whether or not there's a tornado threat.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if you can see that cam there, right? I-95 in Brevard County was really, really starting to light up with a lot of lightning as that cluster of storms was getting closer and closer there to I-95. Let's go back to that cell here. One more time. There's the weather cam there, the Department of Transportation cam, I should say. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, a lot of very heavy rain, and you can see that burst of energy now right on top of I-95. And boy, I tell you what, that cam is giving you a spectacular view of what's going on, and it's interesting there, Eric, right there.
Yeah.
Another little notch maybe trying to form and develop there. So
I mean, look at this and tell me that this isn't trying to tighten up in these last few frames, right at 46 and I-95.
Exactly.
Right in Mims,
and
Wiley.
I was going to say, just to the west there of Mims, downtown Mims anyway.
Let's take a look at the debris tracker and just make sure. I don't see anything. That's good. That's good.
What about the Barron button?
Impact tracker showing big winds.
That's 70?
Yeah.
It sure is.
60, 70 mile per hour winds. And then, of course, there's also large hail embedded in there. So Mims, JJ, LaGrange out just north of Titusville. Take your tornado precautions. I know you're not under a tornado warning, but frankly, our first warning live Doppler radar is showing a pretty, I mean, tell me that's not tighter.
No, it is. We're just going to have to, you know, watch this one until it moves offshore. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's the
there
airport.
You go, the little folding there. Another sign that things are tightening on up sometimes when you see that on the velocity product. Again, moving pretty quickly towards the east there.
All right, so here's the stats from the radar itself.
Yeah, we don't have a shuttle up there, a rocket, do we?
There's no. SpaceX has one coming off of 40 on Friday night, but it wouldn't be out yet.
Okay. Yeah, just want to double check on that.
And that would be further south anyway. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So 70% chance of hail here. The top on this one's at 25,000 feet. Doesn't that also let you know that? How cold it is upstairs. I mean, 25,000 feet, and we also have the opportunity to get 1-inch hail according to the radar.
Yep.
You know?
You know, it is March, so, you know, that can certainly happen in March. But this storm right here, to me, has been very fascinating tonight as it's approaching Mims and approaching, you know, I-95. Again, no tornado warning there anymore, as we've been saying. And the only warning that we have, again, is up in Marion County, but we still are watching some broad rotation here, and that tornado warning cell. Actually,
switch over to WSI,
I was
folks.
going to say, you got a little shear marker there, and that's right where we were just talking about, Eric. Right?
Yeah, I turned it off, but there it is for argument's sake, live radar sweeping through, and I mean that's awful. That's an awful tight. That's an awful tight opportunity for rotation there.
And it's getting stronger and stronger as it approaches US 1 right now. So, sometimes with these, Eric, too, we get these cells that develop water spouts as well once they move offshore. So we'll have to watch that. And of course, you've got the river there before moving back towards northern portions there of the inlet. So we'll watch that. There's Turnbull 1, Walkabout Way, Lionel Road, Hammock Road, just to mention a few of those roads. And of course, some of the communities here. See all these lines? Those are streets with some coastal communities, homes right there that we're going to be watching. That's a pretty good burst of wind, Eric. And that means business. Folks can't be fooling around with that.
No doubt. And as it works over toward the coastline, we're now getting over into the populated areas. There's our live sweep coming back through, still showing decent.
It's looking better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's looking better and better.
Yeah.
If you pixel query that and that,
no doubt.
and the bright green right there and the bright red right there, you're talking easy 70+ mile-an-hour winds.
Yep.
Up there it is, 82.
Yep.
Gate to gate.
Our colleagues are concerned as well about this cell. That there is a discussion right now as to whether or not they're going to issue another tornado warning for it. This is either way, even if they issue it, it doesn't matter. It's basically on top of you. So from Turnbull to Mims, you just turn the TV up, crank up the volume, bring your cell phone if you're watching us on WESH.com or the WESH 2 mobile app, get into that safe room, because if there is a tornado or not, we don't need a polygon and bells and whistles to tell you this is a dangerous cell, right? And as it moves over toward the northern side there of the Kennedy Space Center, it is moving right through populated territory right now. Here comes another live sweep through on our Doppler radar.
Yeah, it's looking better. Look at that. You got an inflow there for sure.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
So Turnbull and Mims, it's on you right now. There's, this is you need. So we've been giving you this notice, and that's why we haven't let this one go because Eric and I were talking amongst ourselves, and we basically said, look, we need to stay on with this one with the history. So, down low. I mean, we've been preaching that to you. That's where you want to be, and this is almost over towards Hammock Road. Should be there fairly soon. Where's my safe room? It's one of the number one questions we get. Usually it's located in the innermost room on the lowest floor, lowest level of your house. It could be in here, it could be right there. The new homes today have concrete cinder blocks, little square safe rooms built into their homes now, and that is a wonderful technical design now that we're seeing with these more modern homes that keep people safe, whether it's out in Tornado Alley, whether it's here in the coastal communities, to provide safety from not only tornadoes, but from hurricanes, believe it or not. People are building them. And as this is moving to the east, it's getting better and better organized there for sure.
It's getting stronger winds for sure.
Do we have the brand new Barry button there? Do we have a new reading?
Let's switch over to Lynx.
Yep.
It's definitely showing a nice wind maximum there. If nothing else, you're talking about severe winds, 58+ mile per hour. You're talking about hail running 1 inch in diameter. But I mean, Tony, just another velocity pass, and I mean, look at that. It's absolutely getting stronger. From Burkholm Road through Grant Line Road, Turnbull, Lionel, Irwin, Folsom, Wiley, JJ.
That whole corridor,
Take your tornado precautions, because it's getting stronger, and you can tell because those super bright colors, that's what's called range folding. It's sheer. It's the radar saying that something is really different there than the last time I came through. And now that we're seeing quite a bit of that, that's telling me that it's rapidly changing, which it's getting into the friction, Tony.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was just about to say. So, you take that into there, and for whatever reason, and I don't know if there's any papers on this, but I can't tell you how many times we have seen these storms pulse up just west of I-95, and then as they move offshore, and that, again, being seen and evident here yet again tonight with this particular thunderstorm that's had a long history since Kissimmee. And we're going back to the 10 o'clock hour for this particular cluster of storms that has just kind of moved off towards the east, northeast, and now more towards the east as it's feeling that long line of storms move in along the I-4 corridor.
Tony, let's switch over to
Yeah.
WSI-1.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just, we're getting,
Wow, look at that right there. Yeah, that is, when you start seeing that like that, it looks a little weird, but because it's so far from the radar, that's where you've got that turning and burning right now.
We're scanning at 1,100 feet, so at least we've got a good sampling there. But
See, here's the thing. Look at all the lightning strikes. That's another indicator
Yep.
right there. You know, when you start seeing more lightning strikes, the storm is pulsing up, and you know that's what's going on there. But the CC not showing.
I don't know. I mean, you know, there could be something there. It'll be interesting.
Loop it. I want to see this. Maybe.
Maybe.
Let's see. There's so 95.1. Again, people should be down low in their safe place. This will be to the east of you here in the next 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll have to wait on the main line a little bit later on. Lionel Road,
Brockett Road.
Irwin, back towards Hammock. That is right on top of you right now. This will cross east of you here, and then head over towards the northern section of the Kennedy Space Center complex there near 3, and then move out over the open waters of the Atlantic. Scottsmore to the north, getting in on some good thunderstorms and some rain right now, but again, no couplet up there. Again, the main energy right now, getting over the waters once again, Eric, as it's racing off to the east here.
I do want to let you know that Jacksonville has canceled their tornado warning. So if we were to widen the perspective out here for just a moment, that warning has expired. So for now, there are no tornado warnings. Though I think that you and I are in agreement. We'd rather stay on with this Brevard County cell just in case.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to do that. You know, you look at this and you can see that you have a pretty intense little structure there that is wrapping around and will be offshore here more than likely. By the time we get to the top of the hour here, 1 o'clock in the morning, we'll more than likely have this cluster of storms pulling away from the Brevard County coastline. You can see we had that little signature there earlier of that rotation, that little algorithm that our software runs for us to kind of keep us in check when we're, you know, working in multiple areas of tornado warned or thunderstorm warned areas like tonight. It's a very, very helpful tool to have. But you can see it's over the water now there, Eric.
Yep, and that's great. Let it continue to do its thing.
Yep.
Then from there, of course, it gets over toward the Canaveral National Seashore. Not necessarily people living out there, but, you know, there are people that could be out there. It is spring break after all. So that is a concern, not that they're watching TV, but that rotation is pretty impressive.
It is, and I think it's going to get even stronger as it pulls offshore and out over the open waters of the Atlantic here over the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. So again, something that we're going to be watching real quickly. Can we go back just briefly here to Western Orange County?
Absolutely.
I want to just take a look and see what that line is doing as it's moving into Apopka. Oh goodness, that's good. That looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Still have it, but it's certainly showing signs of weakening. That is some fantastic news. The other thing we might want to check on, Eric, is that little couplet that we had earlier there, because we want to watch that. Yeah,
it looks like it's shearing out.
It does look like it is. But again, we'll have to watch that as we get deeper into the night up towards Pierceton and maybe Flagler County. But you can see that long, even the wind here itself, Eric, look at that. You notice that?
It's much calmer.
Yeah, it is. You know, we'll get some showers and some storms, but I like seeing that.
Little interesting.
Yeah, a little
something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is, but little pulse up there along 192.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
Same thing just south here around.
Right there.
Not saying that it's a tornado, certainly.
No. Just a burst of wind. We want to make that very, very clear. We're not, again, worried about that. Again, the biggest concern right now is this little feature right here that is about to pull off. Wow, that is looking better.
Come on.
And better. I'm surprised they didn't pull a warning.
The only thing that I could think of is that
not populated.
It's not populated.
Yeah.
But it's, you know.
But, you know, look, it is spring break. I think you brought up a good point. There may be some people that are camping. I don't know. Not sure. Anyway, it's going to be offshore here, probably by the time we get to 1 o'clock in the morning. Is that another? What is that back by Turnbull?
I don't know.
No. Loop that.
Let's just. Let me slow that animation down a little bit
quick.
here. And I'll.
I think you got the right idea.
Yeah. An RFD.
I think the main show is right there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Just south of Shiloh. There's going to be some good winds up there, no doubt about that.
There is a pretty decent amount of lightning there, though. To back your point up from earlier, Tony, a lot of lightning is a lot of energy. And so as these storms produce more lightning, they're producing more energy. So over these next few moments' time, granted, it's moving off the shoreline, but, people that live in this area, people in Mims are waking up like, what is going on? It is raining cats and dogs. And you're talking 4 or 5 inches of rain on the backside of that rotating storm.
Yep. So we'll stick with this until 1 o'clock, guys, in the back. We try to help you guys navigate through all the channels we're broadcasting to. But I think at 1 o'clock, we'll likely be in pretty good shape here. So there's the very latest center of circulation, still pinging about 72 mile an hour gate-to-gate wind shear with this particular circulation center here. This is approaching 3 in northern Brevard County. And then, again, this will eventually move offshore here, and we should be in pretty good shape. Guys in the back still giving us those images up and down I-95 for us tonight. We do appreciate that. You just saw that big flash of lighting as those storms are moving overhead. Correlation coefficient not showing much now. There was a hint there on the northern side there, Eric. I noticed as you were cycling on through that. Maybe
I don't know.
I don't know.
This area in here?
Maybe. Might be a stretch.
Yeah.
Oh, it does match up pretty well.
It does match up.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that gate-to-gate shear there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks better. It looks better. I mean, if you're looking for something, you got it right in there.
Yep.
Right about in here, maybe. Broad, but there for sure. Better looking than it did when it was just to the west for sure. More pictures coming in over I-95 as the storms are continuing to move up towards the north and the east here. So again, pretty active night, no doubt about that. And it's amazing that there wasn't a severe thunderstorm watch or tornado watch issued for Central Florida, especially when you have the type of cells that we've had tonight that have kind of pulsed up, pulsed down. Long-lived rotating thunderstorms, and those are usually the ones that are at least watched on. So,
well, you know what's interesting too, Tony? I think this is a testament to the way Central Florida's weather works, right? Like every afternoon during the summertime, we could get a severe thunderstorm, we could get a tornado warned cell, any afternoon. So here we are on a nice March day, and we've got the same idea. And the dynamics were just marginal. They really weren't crazy. But you've been covering Central Florida weather for 100 years. I've been covering Central Florida weather for 50 years, right? Obviously an exaggeration, but you get the idea. You just know that Florida can just spark up these extra little twists of energy. And in this case, that's exactly what has played through. Weather watch or not, here we are, right?
Well, look, whether they do or don't, we are, and I think that's the point we want to make here is we're going to stick with our guns. We've been doing this for a while, and when we see something we don't like, we're going to let our viewers know, and we're going to follow up on it. Look at that little ball of energy right now. That is I think has a chance to become a pretty good water spout there, my friend, as it moves offshore here in the next 10 minutes or so. The lightning strikes are pulsing up again here. You can see those little bright white dots. Those are the thunderstorms that are in association with that cluster that's moving, through. If it were light outside right now, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a water spout ongoing right now, Eric.
And it'll cross over State Road 3, and then it'll eventually get out toward the beaches there. and move on out. This is a marine interest, though. You know, there's a
Big time.
lot of ships out there.
Speaking of which, are there marine warnings out? Sometimes
Yes,
we get that on the
100%.
yeah.
Marine warning. What they're saying is that winds are going to be greater than 34 knots, which, you know, anything greater than 34 knots, that's just destructive to any size
Vessel.
craft.
Yeah, yeah.
But look at how strong this is getting. It really is peaking here in these last few moments before it works off the shoreline.
And notice less and less range folding
Yeah.
as it's tightening on up. So gate to gate 72. Do we have a skit on Barron's, just out of curiosity?
It is, but it's
It's not in the right area?
yeah.
Okay.
Don't trust thy computer in that cell.
Okay, so we'll take a look now at the Barron button, maybe? Do we have
Yeah,
a
let's
hail
switch
core?
over and take a look at,
Links, guys, in the back?
Links 1 here.
L for links.
And you can very clearly see there, we're running about 1 inch hail in diameter. We're running about, 2 inches per hour plus in the rainfall department, certainly. And the one good thing here is that looking at our correlation coefficient, well, I don't know. Not really. Just, you know, just one of those things we're monitoring. But yeah, so definitely watching plenty of wind shear here. Our rotation tracker is showing that. If we look at our rotation tracker kind of over the last hour, you can see it was perhaps a little stronger right over Mims and Titusville. It was a little stronger back here over the St. Johns River and then back over toward 50 and 520. But, you know, at this point in time, if we switch back over to WSI, you know, that velocity couplet is as clear can be.
Yeah, go ahead and loop that too, so you can show folks how, look, over I-95.
Let me slow it down.
Yeah.
Here. That looks awful similar to the one in Marion County from this weekend.
Broad, wide.
Broad, wide,
Yeah.
but close enough that, you know, it's concerning.
You know, yeah. I mean, I can see definitely concerning for sure, based on that little signature right there. Again, all right, over the river there, and then yondering back towards the Atlantic waters, or what we're looking at right now. So, very, very interesting thunderstorm tonight, and then one that has caught our attention for quite a while. And then elsewhere, the good news is that squall line that was very well organized is showing signs of weakening. So that is certainly some good news, more of a rain event now. And then you can see the developing thunderstorms. Again, uptick in lightning means an uptick in the risk for severe weather. Usually means there could be a developing severe thunderstorm or developing tornado. And we're seeing a lot more lightning here all of a sudden along 3 as it's getting ready to move offshore. And once it's offshore here, you know, for marine interest, as we've been mentioning, this one is going to be a problem as it moves away from the coast. And that line to the west will work on in right over the same areas here just a little bit later on. So it's going to be a quick 1-2 punch. This one will move offshore. There's a brief break there. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised, Eric, if it fills in fact, and becomes one big shield of some rain here for the next couple of hours. And then, not to forget, tomorrow, we've got that upper low that's going to be moving across South Georgia and North Florida, and that may bring us another round of some thunderstorms. Although I got to tell you, the graph was not very impressive, although now it looks like it's changing its tune such that by early afternoon, we may have the chance for a few strong to severe thunderstorms, with hail and wind being the big concern tomorrow, not so much rotating thunderstorms. So that's what we'll be watching. There's noon, there's 1, there's 2. Which model is that?
That's the HER.
That's the HER, yeah.
Yeah, that's the rapid refresh futurecast.
Yeah, yeah. So again, that's pretty impressive looking.
And if we look at the models, just, you know, if we look at the severe parameters on the models here, you're talking about hail.
Yep.
All right, so let's plug this in here. Take a look at the hail kind of swaths, if you will.
Says it all.
That says the threat for tomorrow absolutely goes up for hail.
Yep.
If we take a look at the rotation element, okay, and just keep that same idea, there are little ribbons, little brighter ribbons of yellow. It's weak rotation in the atmosphere, but it's there. So tomorrow is not going to be a nothing day. There's going to be more strong weather concerns.
Yep. No, I agree. That's why we made that another a weather warning day, for the early morning hours here, and then we'll watch for the risk for some isolated strong to severe storms during the course of the afternoon. I don't think it's going to be like today where we're worried about tornadoes. I think it's going to be more of a hail threat. All right, we're about to wrap this up here. 3.5 minutes out, guys, in the back. I just want to get this one offshore here. And you can see the lightning strikes here, those little white dots. Those are the lightning strikes, and an indication there that this is still trying to hang on and wrap itself up. Look at that, Eric. That is that's pretty impressive.
It may be broad, but it's tight enough. So, State Road 3, just south of Shiloh, if you live in the Shiloh area, certainly this is a concern. But as it moves offshore, this nasty cell will be done and over with, and then you'll have a little bit of a break. But there are these little heavier pockets that are just off to your west. How interesting as that's turning around. But look out toward Chulliota and Bithlo, kind of a new backing wind there. Not rotation, not anything intensive, but a nice heavier cell as our live radar.
There's your scan right there. That is, one after the other, lining up like a conga line there is what we're looking at right there. So you got northern Brevard County, that little ball of energy there. And that's really, for me, the only game in town as of right now. Elsewhere, it's you've got some thunder, you've got some lightning, you've got some heavy rain. But once we get this offshore, I think for the rest of the night, we're going to be in a much better place. So certainly some good news. The front, by the way, is still way out here, and this is what's going to be crossing the peninsula as we get you through tomorrow late morning on into the afternoon. And sometimes with the upper low, you get that cold air aloft, you get the warm air at the surface. If we get a little bit of heating, that change in temperature with height is what creates the instability, the thunderstorms, and that can generate the hail tomorrow, because the cold pool is going to be a lot lower tomorrow. Instead of 25, 30,000 feet on a typical summer afternoon, it could be as low as 10, 12, 15,000 feet. And you get these big chunks of ice. They can melt by the time they reach the floor in the spring months. So that's one of the things we're going to have to watch. All right, Eric, this is just about offshore. We are coming up on the 1 a.m. hour here in just over a minute. So we'll let this one go here at 1 o'clock, and then just continue to watch what's going on along the 417, I-4, the beach line, the 429, as this will continue to work from the west to the east. We think that this is going to behave itself. We were just concerned that they may issue another tornado warning here for northern Brevard County, but that clearly does not appear to be the case, although we may have a developing water spout over that way. It is pulling away, or will be pulling away from land here momentarily. So for us, we're going to start closing up shop here, but just know Paisley, Deltona, Sanford, Sorrento, Longwood, Chulliota, Bithlo, Orlando, down towards the attractions, Lake Nona. What you're going to be dealing with here over the next hour or so is some moderate to heavy rain, a couple claps of some thunder, but we are not expecting or anticipating any severe weather. We think the severe weather for now is pushing offshore of Brevard County as we're speaking to you, and we think that we're going to get a couple of strong bands of some moderate to heavy rain. So with that, we're going to let you guys get back to normal programming on WESH. We'll have continuing updates, any breaking weather news that we have as far as reports of damage. Of course, we'll be here with you starting 4:30 tomorrow morning.